Good morning, everyone. I am Sakshi Chaudhary, a student of Data Science AI branch, and today I'll be walking you through my project on blood bank management system as a part of my coursework in DAC 101 at IIT Roorkee. Now let us move on to understand the objectives, goals, and the salient features of the blood bank management system. The first objective of our system is maintaining a blood bank inventory. So we need an automated blood packet allocation system so that whenever a user donates or receives blood, the blood packet stock should be automatically incremented or decremented with corresponding changes or updates seen in the database. Moreover, all the customer details, especially that of the old customers, should be read properly into the program so that these can be used for the future use. Moreover, our major objective is to cater to the needs of the users. So, a user friendly console is our utmost priority. All the messages and instructions should be clearly displayed on the console. And then comes any hospital or blood bank token helps in organizing all the customer data, and fitness verification before donation is also very important. As we know, our program uses a database to maintain the blood stock and the customer details. So in this program, we will be using a CSV file as our database. So CSV file is basically a comma separated value file. So it is a plain text file which can be easily created in Notepad by simply typing out the data. And here the commas help in separating the data in different cells. So when you open the CSV file in Excel sheet, it takes a tabular form. So here each column represents a number of details such as name, contact number, hospital ID, etc. And each row represents all the details of a respective customer. And the first two rows represent the blood stock. So here these are the number of blood packets of corresponding blood group. Let us now understand a rough roadmap of how the database is updated and how the user gets to interact with the program. So first of all, the program reads all the CSV file details, and after that it actually behaves differently with the old and the new customers. So it first asks the customer to enter his or her name. If the name matches the data that is read from the CSV file, then the customer is an old customer, and then the program automatically retrieves all the other details of the customer so that he does not have to re-enter all the details. And then the customer is free to choose out of the three actions he or she wants to continue with. Whereas in case of the new customer, once the name does not match the data that is entered from the CSV file, the customer has to first register with all his or her details, that is name, contact number, etc. And only after that he or she is free to choose from any of the three actions. Now, the three actions or the three facilities our blood bank mainly provides is to donate blood, request for blood, and then third is to update some of the details like contact number and the fitness state. According to the action that is chosen, a module works in the program, and that is how all the data is updated. In the end, the updated data is written back to the CSV, which helps in maintaining the Excel sheet and updating all the information in the database. Moreover, the program also helps in using an auto open CSV file option where we can display the Excel sheet, the updated Excel sheet, so that the user can see whether the updates have taken place or not. Let us now move on to understand the program structure. I have divided the code in a number of code blocks for us to understand it clearly. In this slide, we will be discussing the purpose of including a number of header files and their specific use in our program. So the first header file is include IO stream. This mainly gives us access to the input-output streams such as standard CIN and standard Cout. Since our program is meant to get many details from the customers and also display many messages on the console screen, so that is why including this header file and being able to use the CIN and Cout functions is very important. Then comes include fstream. This is a header file which gives us access to the input output stream classes and enables external file handling. So we can successfully read from and write to the CSV file database. Include string is a header file which enables us to use the strings successfully. Then comes IOManip. It is a header file. It basically stands for input output manipulators. It will help us format the text that we display on the console. In this program, we will be using ZW mostly. Then include vector. It helps us in using vectors, which are dynamic arrays. So all the text that is read from the CSV file will be read as a vector, each row at a time. Then SStream, it helps in using the standard string stream, which basically treats strings as input output streams so that the data can be easily read from the CSV file, and at the same time the commas that we have included in the CSV file help in separating the data values. So this will basically ensure the easy extraction of rows and columns from the CSV file, that is it. And C standard library gives a number of general functions. I will write it here. This gives a number of functions such as srand, rand, exit, and system. So in this program, we have used srand, system, and exit. So system will mainly help us in auto opening the CSV file after it has been updated. Next comes ctime. In this program specifically, we have also used srand time to save the random token generator. Now ctime mainly gives or provides some time and date related functions. Using namespace standard is a statement that saves our typing so that we do not have to write standard cout or standard string all the time. And since we will be extensively working with this external CSV file, we have copied this as path, and the path will be stored in a string variable. Next we have class bloodstock. Let us first understand what are classes, and along with that I would also be explaining what are objects. These two are some important concepts from OOPS, that is object oriented programming. So classes are basically structural units that have member variables and member functions of their own called methods. And the reason why we use classes is that they help in structuring our code, and the rest of the program can basically treat classes as a logical cohesive unit. So it is sufficient in its own. And then objects are basically real-time instances that can be created using classes. So one class can have a number of objects. So this also reduces the repeating of the code for doing the same functions. Um, Now we can actually create an object by using um, this syntax, that is bloodstock, and let's say the name of our object is obj. This is how we instantiate an object. And then if we are to access any member of the class, we can simply use this dot operator. We can write obj dot and then simply the name of that variable. So that is how we access the members through objects. So similarly in this case we have class bloodstock. Next, public is basically an access specifier, and these are of other two types, that is private and protected. So all these member variables and functions that are listed below are public. It means that all these can be accessed outside the class as well. Whereas in case of private, they are only that class itself has the access to these members. In case of protected, not only the class but also the friend classes have access to these members. Next, this line actually initializes 8 integers, that is A positive, A negative, which will be storing the blood packet count in the future for all the 8 blood groups. This function is a special function which does not have any argument, as you can notice, and the name of this function also has to be the same as that of the class. So this is basically called a constructor. So these are special functions that are called right when an object is created. So this basically sets the values of all these 8 integers to 0. The reason why we are doing this is that when we read from the file, so the process is smooth, no errors are there. So this basically prevents garbage values. Next, this whole code block is basically the read function. This is meant to read from the file, as the name suggests, and it has no return type. That is why we are writing void over here. And this is passed as a parameter if stream and defin, and is used for passing by reference. So this actually implies that the stream is not copied. The changes happen in the actual stream itself, and we usually pass by reference because this is efficient and also less prone to errors. And if stream is basically C++ input stream input stream class, so this helps us to read from the file. Next, we have a string variable called line being initialized. Next, getLine is a special function, and then passing fin and line as arguments or parameters in the function helps us to read from the file and then store the text in the string line. So when we first use getLine, we are actually reading the header row. If you had carefully seen the CSV file, the first row that we had contained all the headers, that is A positive, A negative, B positive, etc. And then came the blood counts of each blood group. So what matters to us now is the blood counts, that is the integers associated with each blood group. So first we have to read the header row, and then we would again be using getLine. So line variable will actually be overwritten with the values row, and that is what we intend to do. We basically just want to consume this header row once and then discard it by overwriting line variable again when we read the values row. Next, we are initializing a string stream variable, that is ss. So string stream, as we had also discussed earlier, this helps in parsing the text. By parsing, I actually mean structuring the text. So when we used getLine, we only read it as a simple text, but here it would help in structuring it into 8 integer variables. Then we are also initializing a character variable named char, and then this is the actual parsing step where the commas are caught at each step, and the text is structured into rows and columns perfectly. So here, instead of 1 comma 2 comma 3, we would actually be getting 1 separated by from 2 separated from 3. Again, following that, we have a member function that is responsible to write to the file, again using the output stream class of C++ and passing it by reference. Here const is actually used to denote that no changes can be done to the parameters. So this actually ensures that whatever in memory or current memory state is there, that will be simply updated in the CSV file database. Again, the way we use cout here, fout is the similar function for offstream, and this statement will be actually printed in the CSV file or the external file. Similarly, here in the next statement, we make sure that we write the commas as well. So you can see both these methods are actually quite persistent with each other, and this will ensure that the data reading process and the writing process is carried out smoothly. Again, the third function that we have is getRef. Now this will be returning an integer pointer to the variables containing the bloodstock. So the parameter is const string and named bg, and then these bunch of statements actually first check if the blood group is valid or not, and then they compare the input blood group to each of these 8 blood groups and then return the address. So they basically return the address to the member variable containing the blood count. So basically for A positive, the variable containing the blood count is A pos, as we have seen from here, and then A pos basically denotes the address to that variable A pos, and that is being returned. And if no input blood group matches these 8 blood groups, then it basically implies that the blood group is invalid, and therefore the function would be returning a null pointer. Similarly, we have created another class called customer. So here, these are all the variables that will be required to store the respective details, such as name, contact, hospital ID, and according to each of its types, we have these data types specified. Next, we have this constructor, which again helps in setting everything to its default value or default status. to avoid any garbage values. Next, this is a function that is responsible for reading from the CSV file, and the string stream mainly helps in reading the string as an input stream. Similarly, using getLine, it becomes quite easy to read each of the details, but for some special details that are initially read as strings, we need to convert them to the data types that the other function expects from. So here the donation token has to be converted to integer. So stoi basically is a function that helps in converting a string to integer. Similarly, we have stod, which converts a string to double. For transaction status, it has been converted to a Boolean expression. And then after we have read from the CSV, this is a logic, or this is a function that contains the logic to write to the CSV. And since this will be simply returning a complete string, therefore its return type is string. So this is quite obvious. However, this right here is actually the ternary or the conditional operator, that is question. This basically implies the fact that if transaction status is true, then 1 will be returned, and if it is false, then 0 will be returned. So that is the meaning of the statement, and the rest is just simply returning this whenever to CSV is called. So this complete statement will be returned. Here we have the load all function. It does not return anything, and that is why a void data type. And then this is the parameters list, a reference to the file name, a reference to the object of bloodstock class, and a reference to the vectors of customer objects of class customer again. Now it first clears the vector so that there are no garbage values, and then it creates the input file stream called fn, and then tries to open the file through the path that was mentioned earlier in the program. And this basically checks the Boolean expression. If fn does not exist, that is the file is not able to open, then we create a new file by simply using the output stream class and then writing into the file, and everything is then written into the file, as you can see. However, if the file exists and opens successfully, then this code block is skipped completely, and then we start from here. So the read function actually executes in a manner that was stated in the bloodstock class. It will read all the data, and then we are initializing a string variable called header, which will be getting the customer header, that is name, contact, hospital ID, token, etc. This will be read into this string called header. Next, we are also initializing another variable, string variable called line, and then running this loop which iterates until we get an empty line. So this will be reading all the customer details into this customer vector, and this customer vector is actually a vector of objects, so all the details will be read in this vector, and then finally the loop will be broken after the line is found to be empty, and finally the external file will be closed. This is the overwrite function. Now the reason why we are overwriting the file is that we do not want any leftover data. So we will be basically replacing the older data with the current in memory state, so that there are no errors in this process of updating the CSV database. So this is the function responsible for it. These are the parameters. So we will be opening the external file, the output file stream, and this will open in the truncated mode with no older data, and then using the write function, that is write method from the class bloodstock, we will be writing the first two rows, that is the header row and then the bloodstock row, and following that we have this the name of each of these columns, that is name, contact, hospital ID, etc. After that we actually run a range based loop which iterates over each of the customer objects that is there in the customer's vector. So each of the customer records will be then printed row wise after the name, contact, etc. We will have customer records in this format, and then we will finally close this file by using this. Now this function is a pseudo number generator, and here we will be using it to generate 4-digit tokens, which is quite common practice in blood banks. So here rand 9000 is basically giving you a remainder from 0 to 8999, and then adding 1000 to that would actually return a 4-digit token ranging from 1000 to 9999, both included. Now let us have a look at the main program and its working. So this is the end main function, the main entry point of any C++ program from where the execution would actually start. In the following line we have sran times 0, which helps in seeding of the random token generator. So by seeding I actually mean that sequence of numbers that are randomly generated is not repeated. So whenever the program runs, it ensures that a new number sequence is generated as a token. Then here we see the file name being stored as a string, and the variable's name is also file name. Then an object called stock is initialized for class bloodstock, and we would be now working with this object. Then we have a vector declared for the objects of the class customer. So we know that the program must read the details of the registered customers. So this can be done with the help of vector. Now we would be calling this load all function, something that we have already defined in the above program, and the parameters here are file name, stock, and customers, and the rest is just ANSI art. This would make the terminal look more attractive. Here we have used set w, that is set width, and this mainly helps in setting the field width so that the text looks more aligned and there is a proper gap between the two words blood bank. And these are the ANSI escape sequences, which mainly determine the text style, the text color, and also the background color. You will see when we get the output on the terminal. And these two rows mainly ask for the name of the customer. So here, cust is an object of class customer, and next we have a bool variable existing that has been set to false. So this bool variable will basically help us check if a customer has already been registered into the database or not. So for this we actually run a loop, which is a range based loop, and this would check in the complete list of customers in the database if the input name matches the name that has been already there in the database or not. So if the name matches, then we set the variable existing to true, which means we have found the customer, and then all the details, all the records of the customer will be loaded into this object cust, and then we break the loop. However, if we do not find the customer, or if the name does not match any of the names that are already there in the database, this would imply that the customer does not exist and the customer is a new customer. And therefore, this block of code will actually collect all the details from the customer and register the new customer in the database. So once the user actually inputs all these details will be updated into the CSV by using the pushback. So a new vector will be formed by the name customers, and this vector will be then pushed back. And moreover, all these details will also be there in the in-memory list for us to use it in the future. The first line is responsible for showing the options that are available to the user. So according to the choice of the user, the corresponding code block would work. So he or she may opt to donate blood, request for blood, or update contact or fitness. So according to the choice 1, that is the donation code block would be executing. So first of all, the fitness will be checked. If the fitness is 0, that is the customer is unfit, then he would not be allowed to donate blood. And otherwise, these waiting instructions will be first displayed. Then the stock will be updated as the blood is donated. So basically here getref actually returns a pointer to the integer representing the blood group stock, and then the blood group stock of the respective blood group of the user is updated. Similarly, the donation token is randomly generated for the next round of donation. The transaction status is also set to true. Now this module is responsible for fulfilling the request blood action of the user. So for this, the user needs to enter choice 2. We have two parallel arrays, that is blood groups and rates, and with this for loop we actually display the rates of the corresponding blood groups. Then the program asks the user to enter the required number of blood packets he or she wants. Similarly, we have the pointer being returned like we saw in the previous slide. Now here, using the if loop, we not only check if the pointer is valid or not, but also check that the number of blood packets available with us, if the condition can be fulfilled or not. So here, if the number of blood packets that we have is greater than what the user wants, then the blood packet stock is accordingly updated, and then the bill is also calculated. The user is shown the amount that he or she needs to pay. through these lines. This else branch will only work when the packets available with us are not enough to be given to the user. So we would ask the user if he or she is willing to settle with the number of packets that we are able to provide, or he or she does not want any packet at all. And according to the response of the user, um, we have two cases that can occur. First of all, we would give all the packets that we have, and accordingly the blood stock will be then changed to 0, and then the payment status will also be updated. However, in the other case, we will display this message of sorry for inconvenience. Finally, choice 3 helps the user in updating his or her fitness state and contact details. So all these details first take place in cust, and then these are updated in the CSV file. Now this block of code helps in searching a record in the same name. If found, then all the changes that have taken place in cust are simply replaced by the record found in the database, or else if not found, then cust is pushed back as a new entry in the CSV file. Finally, the file database is overwritten with all the current in-memory changes and finally updated. And this statement mainly helps us in auto-opening the CSV file with all the necessary updates. So this is our final code. These are the header files. This is class bloodstock. Then comes class customer as well. The load all function, override function, and the int main function. Now I will be running the code, and let's see what the output is. It may take a while to run the code because the code is quite lengthy. And yes, we are seeing the output in VS Code. Moreover, on the terminal, when the output appears, it will be quite interactive, as you can see. This header is also very creative, and the ANSI escape codes have enabled us to use this differently styled and colored text. So for the first round of output, I will be using Swati. She's an old customer with all her record and details already been registered in the database. So you can see the program has successfully searched for Swati's name, and now that it has found Swati in the database, it has directly jumped to the select action module. Here I will be asking for donate blood. If you had also noticed, Swati was unfit to donate blood, that is, her fitness state was set to 0, and that is why she is not allowed to donate blood now. And you can also see that the prompt there says please consult a doctor or update fitness state. And since we know a donation of blood has not taken place from Swati's end, you can see her respective blood group stock has also not been updated. It is 5. It was 5 originally, and it still remains 5. You can see her fitness state was 0. Now what we would be doing is that we would now update Swati's fitness state to 1, and then let's see if donation of blood takes place or not. So let's do that. Okay, yes, now re-entering Swati's name. This time I would choose to update her contact and details, but now entering her contact. And her fitness state has now been set to 1. Let us see what changes happen in the database. So yes, you can check the database. Her fitness state has been successfully updated to 1. Now also let's see here whether the donate module works well or not. Now we will be donating blood. So since her blood is A negative, let us see the stock should be incremented. Yes, so we can see this time the blood stock for A negative blood group has been incremented from 5 to 1, and also there is a change in her donation token. So this token will be used in the next round of her donation whenever she comes to donate blood. So this is the updated CSV file now. And yes, some of these instructions, these are some waiting instructions for her to move to ward 23, etc. Now that we have seen successful working of the donate blood action, now let us see if the request blood or the blood packets are issued successfully to the customers or not. For this I will be using example of Deepak, who is again an old customer. All his details are registered in the database. So his blood group is basically AB. His blood group is basically B negative. So you can see from this blood packet rate chart that each blood packet costs 600. Now I will have to re-enter the blood group for authentication and reconfirmation. Now let's say I want 2 blood packets. I have entered the required number of blood packets, that is 2, and you can see the B negative blood count was earlier 9, and now it has been decremented to 7 since Deepak took 2 blood packets, and his bill has also been updated to 1200. So 2 times 600 is 1200 is Deepak's bill. So this runs successfully without any doubt. However, if there is a case where I actually ask for a greater number of blood packets than what the blood bank can provide, let us see how the code would run in that case. So for that I am taking my own example. I will actually be a new customer in this blood bank. I have not already registered in the database. So yes, since the program could not find me in the database, so it is asking me to register all my details. So I will be registering my details and my hospital ID is this, and my blood group is AB positive. I will be entering that. I am fit, so I will be entering 1 for that. Now let us say I want to experiment with the request blood module. My blood group is AB positive, so the rate is 300 rupees per packet. I would re-enter my blood group for confirmation. And if you had seen in the database already, it's just for us to experiment. So AB positive earlier had 4 blood packets available, but now I will do something different. I will actually ask the program to give me 6 blood packets. Now let us see how the program will execute. Yes, so it says sorry, the requested number of blood packets are not available, and now it asks me, would you like to take less number of blood packets as per availability. So basically the program is asking me if I do not want any blood packet at all, or I'm willing to settle with whatever number of blood packets the blood bank has or can provide me. So yes, I can take the number of blood packets that the blood bank will give me. If you notice here, we knew that AB positive had 4 blood packets available. So now all the 4 have been issued to me, and that is why the available blood packets now have been decremented to 0 in the AB positive packet column. I have been registered as a new entry successfully in the CSV database, and my bill is also updated to 1200. So you can see the calculation from here. Basically I got 4 packets, and 300 times 4, my bill has been updated to 1200. And the other changes have also been taken place. So this is basically my final database, and with all different customers coming in and updating their details, donating blood, receiving blood, this database will keep on getting updated smoothly. Thank you for your time.